constantly in the Pokemon market, there are always movers and shakers regarding single cards, and to be honest, things are getting really interesting right now as we come into the summer months of the hobby. And you know, in the summer months, things tend to calm down a little bit. The interest in Pokemon is not quite there. So today we'll be looking at what has been going on in the market regarding some of the single cards across various different generations, and just see what's really happening, because what we've been seeing is sealed product has held quite well, whereas the single card prices have been going down mostly, especially in the Scarlet and Violet era. But I do know that there have been some big gains for some other cards as well, so it'll be interesting to go through what has been happening, and then you guys can see whether or not you have these cards and they've gone up or they've gone down, or there's some cards you may be looking at picking up. We'll be going through all of that today, so let's jump in. Okay, so we're looking at TCG Player today at the biggest movers and shakers. We've got two different ones to look at today. This one is the end of May. Of course, we're in June, so this will be interesting to see what has been going on. Now, recently when we looked at this, we saw a lot of movements happening regarding black and white era stuff, which was kind of interesting. And I think we also saw some gains in like some other sets like Prismatic as well, so it'd be interesting to see. So of course, we've got the Reshiram. We've been seeing already more and more gains being made from this black and white era card. Of course, with the return of black and white, but black and white coming back with black bottom, white flare. These are going to be big chase cards. I mean, they already are, but they just keep climbing. I mean, over the past month, going from 85 to gaining nearly $40, or sorry, 40%, 40 to 50% in value, and $40 is very, very impressive. So, I mean, it's pretty cool, right? It reminds me, obviously, of the celebrations, like reprint that happened as well. But this is, of course, the OG, and to be honest, the new one actually from White Flare looks really, really nice. Like, I must admit, I actually prefer Reshiram than Zekrom, but yeah, pretty impressive. Of course, we've got Zekrom as well to go along with it. This one is slightly cheaper, which is kind of interesting because like Black Bolt is actually more expensive than White Flare. So that's going to be interesting to see how things are going to go regarding those sets indeed. Then we have the Reshiram and Zekrom GX Tag Team Rainbow. Absolute mouthful there. Incredible. Now, I know that a lot of people are not a huge fan of the rainbows, especially from like the Sword and Shield era, but I think that, I don't know why, something about the rainbows from Sun and Moon just look better in my opinion. So maybe we might see rainbows come back in the future, and hopefully they look as good as they were in the Sun and Moon era. You're looking at $140 for this one. This one's climbed a lot over the past 3 months, going from roughly around 90, reaching all the way up to 140. But look at over the past year. I mean, this card was just basically flatlining for the longest time, and then bang, gained like $100 in value. Madness, pure madness. Beautiful card though. I do like the artwork, and also it's from Cosmic. We've seen Cosmic prices just get absolutely ridiculous. This is for sure one of them. Then we got the Arceus, Dialga, and Palkia. Alt art this time, GX, also from Cosmic. $300. This one's seen again a huge increase. This was always a very expensive card anyway, but we're actually seeing some big movements happen. So we go back over the past year, and it was expensive, right? For being $160 card was like whoa, and it spent ages around 160. Then it trickled up a little bit towards 200, and I was like, oh, this is interesting. And it went up to like 240, and then bang, from 240 to 300. Beautiful artwork though. I really do like it, and Cosmic has always been one of my favorite Sun and Moon era sets. Hidden Fates for me is number one, but Cosmic has always been up there. I've always enjoyed opening up Cosmic, but it's just getting silly expensive. And then, of course, you've got the Reshiram and Zekrom again. GX this time coming in. This one's the alt art. Again, Cosmic, $325. We just seen like just gains on gains on gains. Over the past year, again, it was just plodding along at $100, and then bang, tripled in value, or over tripled in value since then. I prefer this actually than the Rainbow, but the Rainbow is nice, but I do prefer the alt art. Then you got the Mewtwo and Mew GX. This is a promo coming in, $220 over the past 3 months. This is near enough doubled in value. Over the past year, we've seen this card dip a little bit, around $50, and then boom, to the absolute moon. I do like the artwork though. The artwork is really, in my opinion, really sweet. And then we got the Rowlet and Alolan Executor Long Neck Boy, the original Long Neck Boy. $75 for this one. That's pretty decent for an art. This one's from Unified Minds, a very expensive Sun and Moon era booster box. And this one at the moment, I mean, it did dip below 50, and then boom, it's jumped up by 50%. Very impressive. Not a huge fan of the artwork, but can't deny just how good it's going. And then we got the most recent movers and shakers. This is going to be an interesting one. So it looks like we've got some more modern era stuff potentially coming in here. So of course you've got the God of War lineup there showing here. Give an example of the prices for that one. So secret box, you know those Apex cards that no one cares about? Well, this one is now $15. It did actually reach pushing nearly $20. I had a whole bunch of these, and I'm pretty sure I just like sold them when like dirt cheap. Like I sold them when they're like here. Do you know what I mean? Like all the way along here. But the fact is they're up here. Look, over the past month, look at that. It was $5 and it's tripled and quadrupled in value. Very playable card, right? That's the main reason why it is seeing such immense gains. I don't think I have any more of the secret boxes. I might do, but I have to have a look because I've got a lot of Apex still in my collections and stuff. But I don't know whether or not there's any of them are secret boxes. But I'll have to take a look. Then we've got Tall Scraper. This one's from Rebel Clash. Wow, okay. So again, I would assume this is a competitive card, which, you know, seeing some gains. I mean, look at this. It was like $3 and like quadrupled in value. That's just mental. Look at that. I mean, $3 and then we gone all the way up to $12.50. There you go. So again, we have a playable card which has seen immense value increased from Rebel Clash of all sets. I don't know how expensive Rebel Clash is these days. I would assume it's not cheap, mainly because, well, it's quite old. That has that on its side. And then you've got Team Rocket's Mewtwo, the new biggest card from Destined Rivals. This one's quite interesting, mainly because it's got a little bit of a bounce back. This card, of course, came out really expensive, pre-order prices of $450, then it went all the way down to $320, and now it's bounced up to over $380. So that's pretty good. You know, the fact is we've seen a bounce back is pretty decent. A lot of people are cracking open Destined Rivals right now. The set, in my opinion, is still too expensive, but it's holding relatively well. I thought it would crash even more. I actually thought it would probably go below 300, but no, it's proved me wrong and jumped up by an extra 20% in value, which is very, very impressive. And yeah, it's still going strong. I mean, could it go to 400? Don't know. I thought it'd be more expensive than the Pikachu from Surging Sparks, but that wasn't the case. So I'm not a huge fan of the artwork, but a lot of people do like it, and it is very, very expensive. Okay, moving on, we've got the Umbreon from Prismatic. This one has fallen like crazy. Over the past 3 months, this card has dropped from nearly $1,600. Oh my days, we're like $500 in value. Nearly $400 in value. That's a lot of money. That is a lot. Over the past 6 months, pretty much since release, it was 1.6k. Now under 1.2k. I mean, still really expensive, right? A 1.2k card. This early on is ridiculous, but it is a nice card. All right, it's not my favorite, but it is a nice one. And Prismatic, I know that over in the US, you guys have been getting a lot of reprints and restocks. But we haven't got anything over here, so things are still quite pricey regarding Prismatic, and you know, with the super tough pull rates as well. But you know, more product hitting the shelves would mean this will drop even more. Could drop below $1,000 in the future if you know, Pokemon keep pumping out more and more Prismatic products, which hopefully they do. They've got the Suicune EX from Team Magma and Team Aqua. Oh my days, this is an old one. This one jumped up a little bit recently, you know, around 190 up to 270 nearly. And it's trickled down a little bit, but that's still good. I mean, bearing in mind, it hasn't really done much for a very, very long time. Like over the past year, not a huge amount of data. So it's interesting to see that this is actually, you know, going up a little bit higher. Same with the Cypher EX as well. This one's from Ruby and Sapphire. Wow, this is a blast from the past. Look at this. I mean, it was around $60, and now we've seen a bit of a jump. I mean, not as crazy as some of the other cards we've seen. I mean, but still, over the past year, it is doing relatively well. But to get that sharp spike in price is you know, one to look out for. So overall, we're looking at some older cards and obviously some newer ones as well. Obviously it talks about like Prismatic, and we have seen a lot of these cards bounce up and down regarding their values. But for me, in all honesty, I mean, seeing playable cards and competitive cards, you know, increase the price of stuff that normally we would classify them as not necessarily bulk, but kind of like bulk hit cards, but now they're actually worth a decent amount. I mean, especially Secret Box being around $15 is really, really impressive. So you have it, guys. That's what's been going on with the movers and shakers over the past couple of weeks. Really interesting to see what has been going on right now in the Pokemon market. Some things old, some things new, and even things that we would classify as bulk is doing really, really well. which is nice to see. And we're seeing some bounce back already with Destined Rivals. I thought prices would come crashing down, but that hasn't quite happened just yet. But still, Sun and Moon era is proving to be an absolute boss with a lot of these alt arts and rainbows and everything else in between. Just anything Sun and Moon right now is like an absolute gold mine. So it's really interesting to see what's going to happen in the future with some of these cards. Keep an eye out on the market, guys, and we'll keep an eye out here as well on a lot of older stuff as well, because look, Sword and Shield might see another boom as well. Who knows? But if you made this far in the video and you've enjoyed it, make sure to smash the like button and subscribe for more Pokemon content. And guys, let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Which one's your favorite card? Right? Which one are you looking to pick up? For me, I mean, I need to look for these secret boxes. Like I said, I'm pretty sure I've got quite a few of them. So that one I'm definitely looking out for. But for me, like, I really want to pick up the Cynthia's Garchomp. I know we haven't looked at that today, but the Cynthia's Garchomp is one I would like to go and pick up. Out of the ones we looked at today, I mean, anything from Cosmic Eclipse, I'm there for. Because like I said before, I'm a huge fan of Cosmic. But that's it from me, guys, in today's video. If you want more Pokemon content, make sure to click the video on the screen. And of course, make sure to hit that subscribe button. And as always, thank you so much for watching. You guys are legends, and I'll see you in the next one.